If you're studying the same thing over and over and still forgetting it, you're not broken. You're just using the dumbest method school ever taught you. Highlight, reread, repeat. Sounds familiar, right? Now here's the brutal truth. Repetition doesn't equal memory. Struggle does. Because the real way to lock something into your brain permanently is not to study more. It's to study differently. And once I learned how, I could study something once and remember it weeks later without cramming, stressing, or drinking 7 cups of coffee. So in this video, I'll show you the exact system I use, built on brain science, and one stupid simple trick most people skip. Let's simplify it. Let's say you're studying for an exam. You highlight the notes. You reread the notes. You reread the highlights. Then you reread the notes again. And what happens? You feel confident until the test starts, and your brain pulls a full-on blank screen. Why does this happen? Because rereading tricks your brain into thinking it knows the material. It feels familiar, but familiarity is not the same as memory. It's called the fluency illusion, and it's the #1 reason students think they studied enough and still fail. Your brain doesn't remember what's easy. It remembers what's hard, not painfully hard, not impossible, just effortful enough to make your brain wake up and go, wait, I have to work now? That's when real learning happens. So here's the shift. Stop studying for comfort. Start studying for recall. Here's the first big idea. If you want to remember forever, you have to practice remembering. Not reviewing, not scanning, remembering. It's called retrieval practice, and it's the brain's version of lifting weights. Every time you force your brain to pull something out of memory, the memory gets stronger. Every time. Even if you get it wrong, the struggle builds the path. So here's what you do. Study your material once. Close the book, grab a piece of paper, or open a blank document and write down everything you remember. No notes, no peeking. Just brain, page. Then go back, compare it to the original, and fill in the gaps. That's it. It's not sexy, it's not flashy, but it works way better than rereading the same thing 12 times while scrolling TikTok in the background. And studies show that 1 session of retrieval can outperform 3 sessions of review. That means less time, stronger memory, and no last-minute panic. Okay, story time. In my second year of school, I had one of those, oh crap, the exam is tomorrow moments, 1 day to study, no time for perfection. So I did this. I opened the textbook, read the chapter once, closed it, wrote down every key point I could remember, missed some, got others wrong. No big deal. Went back, checked, rewrote. I did this for 3 chapters in 1 day. Took about 3 hours total. Next day, walked into the exam more confident than I'd ever been. Not because I knew everything, but because I knew what I knew. And when I saw those questions, my brain went, oh yeah, we've done this. That's the power of retrieval. It teaches your brain to do the exact thing you'll need it to do later. Remember under pressure. That's normal. The first few times you do this, you'll try to recall and come up with nothing. And your brain will scream, this doesn't work. You're failing. Go back to rereading. Ignore it. That's just your comfort zone begging you to come back. Because the science is clear. The more effort it takes to recall, the stronger the memory becomes. Even failed retrieval attempts help. You're literally training your neurons to fire faster and more accurately next time. It's like muscle memory, but for facts, ideas, and formulas. So if it feels hard, good. That means it's working. Now, if this one shift already feels like a game changer, the next one makes it even more powerful because retrieval alone is great. But if you time it right, you can create what memory scientists call super recall. It's like installing a second brain that never forgets, and it's way simpler than you think. Here's the truth about memory. When you study matters just as much as how you study. If you study something once, then try to recall it 10 minutes later, it's still sitting in short-term memory. But if you recall it just as you're about to forget it, boom. That's where long-term memory builds. This is called spaced retrieval, and it's the second part of our Remember Forever formula. Here's how you do it. Day 1, learn it. Do retrieval right after. Day 2, wait until the next day. Do retrieval again. Day 4, wait 2 days. Do retrieval again. Day 7 plus 1 more round. Each time you force recall, just before forgetting, you double down on the neural pathway. You're literally telling your brain, hey, this one's important. keep it. And guess what? This spaced recall system takes less time than rereading every day. Because instead of stacking 10 weak reviews, you're doing 3 to 4 heavy-hitting ones. This is how top students learn less and remember more. Think of your brain like a gym. Rereading is like watching someone else lift weights. You feel productive, but you didn't actually work. Retrieval? That's you doing the reps. But spaced retrieval? That's you doing the reps right before your muscles forget how. It's the difference between working out daily with no progress or working out strategically and getting stronger every time. And the best part? You don't need apps. You don't need fancy software. You just need a timer and a blank page. If you want to keep it super simple, write the date you studied something and set reminders to do recall on spaced days. That's it. Okay, quick story. Last year, I had to prep for a super dense online certification, something I had zero background in. Normally, I'd panic and highlight every word. Instead, I used the exact method I just showed you. Read a module once, closed the tab, retrieved everything I could remember, without notes, checked, corrected, moved on. The next day, retrieval again, then spaced it out. 2 days later, then 5. By day 7, I could recall everything without even trying. I walked into the final like a literal cheat code was running in my brain. Finished it in half the time, passed, and I still remember most of it months later. All because of 2 things: effortful recall, spaced timing. That's how powerful this is. Here's the excuse most people throw at this. Yeah, that's cool, but I don't have time for spaced studying. I've got stuff now, and I get it. But let me be blunt. If you're gonna study anyway, you might as well do it in a way that actually works. Because rereading something 5 times today takes more time than reading it once, plus recalling it tomorrow. Spaced recall saves you time in the long run and builds confidence along the way. Plus, you don't have to be perfect. Even doing this with just 1 topic per day will give you a massive edge. This isn't about grinding harder, it's about studying once and making it count. Now, if you're still with me, this last step is where it all clicks, because now you've got the how and when to study. But what if your brain still zones out? What if you can't stay focused or keep forgetting the basics? The final step solves that, and it's so simple it almost sounds dumb, but it's the one that made the biggest difference for me. Ready? Let's finish strong. Okay, final step. This one feels too simple, but don't skip it. It's called the Feynman technique, and it's named after a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who said, "You don't know something until you can explain it simply." So here's what you do. After you've learned something, try to teach it like you're explaining it to a 5-year-old. No fancy terms, no memorized definitions, just your own words, plain and messy. If you can do that, you don't just know it, you own it. But if you freeze or ramble or use words you don't actually understand, that's your brain saying, "Yo, we don't actually know this yet." And that's perfect, because now you know where to go back and clarify. Teaching is the fastest way to find your blind spots and turn knowledge into real memory. So next time you study something, try this. Explain it to your dog. Record a 60-second voice memo. Teach your invisible classroom. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just simplify until it clicks. Because if you can teach it simply, you'll never forget it. Here's something no one talks about. The best part of learning like this isn't just better grades. It's the quiet confidence it builds. When you know how to learn, really learn, you stop being afraid of any topic. Math, bring it on. Science, let's go. A new language, new skill, new job. You're not scared anymore. Because now you've got a method, a way to go from "I don't get it" to "I got this." That's freedom. Most people stay stuck not because they're stupid, but because they never learned how to learn. Now you have, and it changes everything. Let's lock it in. Retrieval practice. Don't reread, recall. Spaced repetition. Recall again right before forgetting. Feynman technique. Teach it simply until it sticks. That's it. Use these 3 steps, and you can study something once and remember it for a long, long time. No more all-nighters, no more fake confidence, no more blank stares at test time, just real memory. Backed by science, simplified for your brain, and built to last. If this made something click for you, give it a like so I know to make more videos like this. And if you're done wasting time with advice that doesn't work, subscribe. We're building a whole community here of people who are done pretending to be productive and are ready to actually learn better. people like you, people simplifying life. Let's grow together. Before we end, I want to remind you, you're not lazy, you're not forgetful, you're not bad at learning. You were just taught the wrong way. The system gave you a toolbox full of broken tools and told you to build a life. But now, you've got better tools. So use them, simplify your process, trust your mind, and never let anyone tell you you're not smart enough. You are. You just needed the right system. See you in the next one. Keep it simple.